Welcome back, brave listeners. Tonight's story is not just horror, it's a slow burn into psychological madness, time loops, and a house that doesn't follow the laws of physics, or memory. Turn off the lights, wear your headphones, and settle in for one of the longest and most chilling tales I've ever told. This is The Endless Staircase. No one could recall exactly when the Morningside house had been built. There were no records, no mention in the city archives, no permits or blueprints, and no indication of who owned it. Yet, it stood, 5 stories tall, wrapped in ivy, at the dead end of Whitlock Lane, hidden behind thick black gates and an overgrown garden that hadn't seen a gardener in decades. Local kids dared each other to knock on its rusting front door. Urban explorers reported bizarre architecture inside, staircases that didn't lead anywhere, doors that opened into concrete walls, windows that only showed blackness no matter the time of day. But nothing stuck. No viral videos. No photos. Every attempt to document the interior mysteriously failed, blurred recordings, corrupted files, even memory loss among the investigators. That's what fascinated Clara Jensen. Clara, 28, was a university lecturer and a painter. She had a taste for things antique, an eye for patterns, and a quiet obsession with spatial anomalies in architecture. She read about Morningside in an old Reddit thread tagged, "Places That Shouldn't Exist." She thought it was fiction at first. But a week later, she saw a listing. Morningside House. Fully furnished. $400 per month. Immediate move-in. Utilities included. Too cheap. Too perfect. She visited. The woman showing the property was silent, pale, and oddly formal. Her eyes didn't blink often, and she never spoke unless Clara asked something directly. Clara moved in the next week. The first floor was cozy, fireplace, leather armchairs, dozens of dusty books. The second was minimalist and clean. The third had a Victorian aesthetic, with peeling wallpaper and faint music that seemed to play from inside the walls. And between the third and fourth floor was the hidden panel. It was barely noticeable, just a vertical slit in the wood paneling. On her 4th day, while cleaning, she leaned against it. It creaked inward, revealing a tight spiral staircase descending into darkness. She hesitated. She descended 5 steps. Then 10. Then 30. She stopped at what she assumed was the base and looked up. Light from above was gone. She climbed back up. It took over 20 minutes. She emerged sweating, dizzy, and confused. Her watch read 4:12 p.m. When she entered the panel, it was 3:36 p.m. But her phone said 6:02. She brushed it off. Chalked it up to disorientation. She didn't mention it to anyone. But that night, the staircase appeared in her dreams. A red-lit spiral stretching infinitely downward. Someone stood at the bottom, barefoot, pale, holding something metallic. A voice echoed. "You went the wrong way." She woke up breathless. Her skin clammy. The next day, she tested the staircase again, this time with markers. She drew a chalk arrow on each wall every 10 steps. By step 120, she found a set of arrows drawn in the same style, but aged, faded. Her own handwriting. Her legs trembled. She turned to leave. And standing 5 steps above her, was herself. But older. Paler. Eyes sunken. Silent. Clara blinked, and the figure vanished. She bolted upward, nearly tripping. From that day on, everything in the house shifted subtly. Her bedroom door would be on the opposite side of the hallway. Her favorite mug changed color. Paintings she hadn't seen before appeared on the walls, portraits of people she didn't know, staring out at her. She documented it. Took photos. Made sketches. But every morning, the evidence was gone. Even her sketchbooks were blank. She began hearing whispers inside vents. Doors creaked open on their own. Her own footsteps echoed twice. She began recording voice memos. It's the staircase. It's doing something to me. Every time I go down, I lose something. A memory. A name. Yesterday I forgot my mother's face. I saw myself again. She spoke this time. Said I'm filling in. Said she's almost done. The staircase has no bottom. Or maybe the bottom is where I started. She tried to leave the house. Her car was missing. The gate at the end of Whitlock Lane was gone, replaced with a forest. No internet. No calls. One day, she opened the front door to leave, and found the spiral staircase behind it. No more escape. She began exploring deeper levels of the staircase. Each level was a different version of Morningside. One floor was submerged in water. Another was covered in vines. Another had dozens of versions of her, sitting still, eyes open, not breathing. She found the room where she had first signed the lease. Only this time, she was the pale woman showing the house. She tried screaming, begging the potential tenant not to enter. But her mouth didn't move. She watched herself smile. Nod. Hand over the keys. Again and again. Clara began to split. Her reflection started acting independently. She'd look in the mirror and see herself still walking when she had stopped. Sometimes they'd whisper. Other times, they'd watch. One mirror shattered spontaneously. Blood leaked from it. She painted furiously. Dozens of canvases. All spirals. All red. And one final painting, a staircase, coiled inside a human skull. She realized what Morningside was. A trap. But not just of space, of time. Memory. Identity. The house didn't eat you. It rewrote you. The Clara who had walked in weeks ago was already gone. She decided to descend. One last time. To the very bottom. No markers. No rest. Just down. She walked for what felt like days. Her thoughts fragmented. Names slipped away. Her fingers became transparent. The staircase no longer looked like metal, it was bone. Pulsing. Finally, she reached a room. It had no walls. Only mirrors. And every version of her stood in a circle, watching. One of them stepped forward and said, "You are home." Then they all spoke in unison. "Your lease never ends." The next morning, a real estate listing appeared online. Historic townhome. 5 stories. Quiet. Unique architecture, $400 per month. Keys waiting. And the agent showing the house looked exactly like Clara. "Thank you for journeying with me into the spiral. If you made it this far, you're braver than most. If you ever find a staircase that shouldn't be there, don't go down. Like, subscribe, and tell me, what's the scariest place you've ever walked into without knowing what was on the other side?" Until next time, keep your memories close. And don't trust the mirrors.